All right, guys, we've had several attempts here to try to get the setup correct here. Hopefully it's not bad. Down here at Paint Creek today, having trouble with the dry pod, but trying to get set up to do some fishing. Once I get set up here a little bit, I'll bring you guys back, and hopefully we catch some fish. Don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. All right, so I'm soaking some Wheaties here for a couple minutes, just regular Wheaties and some water, some creek water. Draining the water out. I'll turn these into dough balls. Now, if you soak them too long and you make them a little wet, they will dry out over time. What I do is I start off making like a bigger ball like this, get all the water out of it, and then just set that down somewhere till you get all that made up. And I'll show you the setup I'm using here in a second. You can use a treble hook. You can also use, I got a little bait holder on there. I'll show you that. A little bit of a springy thing that'll help hold the Wheaties on. But if you make it right, it will turn into like a, it'll stay on long enough to cast it out for sure. So we got that. Let's get some water here. That stuff gets on your hands. It gets real sticky real quick. Now, if we're getting a slow bite on the regular Wheatie, what we might do is we might add a little Jello. This last piece I pulled out seems a little squishy, so we'll save it, but I'll show you the setup here. And I'm by myself, so I apologize if I'm not giving you a good view here. I'm trying. So I got a little tiny, springy thing on there. It's like a bait holder. That'll help hold the Wheatie ball on. I'm using a little tiny hook. So what I'm going to do, I got a couple pieces of kernel corn here. So I'm going to put on like 3 pieces of corn. Doesn't matter how many. I like using these smaller hooks. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get me a little bit of a ball here. And I'm going to put it over that bait holder. I'm going to put the Wheatie ball around the hook and the corn and the bait holder as much as possible here. Trying to just make it into one big ball. Like so. And we're going to flip that out there. No weight. I haven't really seen any action yet carp-wise. We're hoping the carp are active. So I just threw it all off. It's still a little too wet. And you will have that. I made it a little too spongy, I think. Might have to give it a few minutes to dry out here. The corn stayed on, which is what you just want the chum pile to stay on long enough to get out there as well. We may want to let this dry up a little bit if this one doesn't stay on. Let's get us a little more water here. right, another thing we're going to be using today is I haven't taken the top off of this. These are chicken gizzards in strawberry Kool-Aid, and they've been in the Jeep in 90-degree weathers for 2 days, so I'm sure they're going to be horrific smelling. Once I get set up, we'll get some of that thrown out as well. I'll probably put a float, try to put a float, but I may throw some out on the bottom. I got a little wear and tear on my line. I need to change my hook out and cut some of that frayed line off. That way if we do get one, we don't just lose them. Let's try again. Okay, I didn't go out very far at all. I was in fear of trying to not sling it off. We're probably only out 8 feet. I'm not really worried about the distance as much as I am keeping that chum pile on there. We're going to put it behind this big rock here. And then I'll try to get it set up to where you guys can see the end of the pole here. So the line, where I'm at, I'm not in the current, so the line is staying slack, which is fantastic. So we'll give that a few minutes. We may have to rethrow. While we're waiting, I'm going to go ahead and flip out a what I caught a couple saw guy on yesterday. I'll show you that setup as well. It's just a little tiny crappie jig here with a white twister. We'll give this a few casts just to see if we can get any action. If we can get a little bluegill or a little crappie, we'll use the fillet. Probably better than the chicken gizzards. But, let's give this a couple casts. We may need to get a little farther out with our weedy ball, but that weedy ball will chum them in. You kind of want to throw in the same spot every time if you can, because they'll start coming in and looking for that pile of stuff. This time of year, I don't know what they're called, but there's some sort of little seed. These little seeds right here. That are in the water, don't let those get into your reels, and they're not always easy to get off your line. There's some little fluffy white seed that's in the water. Try not to put those inside your reel. It's not super easy to do. This time of year they're everywhere. The idea with the couple pieces of corn is once they eat that, they're hooked. And the way it works down here, if you have seen some of my videos in the past, if these carp are going the way I like them to go, you pretty much, as soon as you throw out, you pretty much got a fish immediately. So I don't think they're the water's that warm yet. That might be more of a July or August thing. But we've had a couple 90-degree days, so I wanted to make the extra drive to see if I could get any to hit. So, right there, I just saw something trying to eat something. Got a piece of that fuzz. Looked like a bass or something. Chasing something. Looked like a white bass or a crappie. As it's warming up too, guys, you got to keep an eye out for snakes. When you're near the water, there's going to be a ton of them around. I'm not I don't know enough about snakes I just know I don't want to get bit by one. You're not an expert, the safe bet is just don't let it get you. If you know it's a harmless snake, then you're good, I guess, but I don't want to get bit even if it's not poisonous. All right, so there goes the pole. Yep. As you've seen that, I saw the line going tight. I don't think we got him, but we're going to give it a second. Usually you want that just to be hooked right then and there and done. Man, that was a nice little run. All right, so we missed the fish, unfortunately, but that was very exciting. Didn't take that long to get that hit either. So let's put a couple pieces of corn back on. Man, that was a nice little run. Hopefully you guys saw that. Sometimes I'll use treble hooks when I'm doing this. Sometimes I'll use these smaller hooks. These are not tried and true. I do have a different hook that's tried and true, but these are very similar. So I wanted to give these a shot. This thing is not wanting to cast very well right now. And that could have been something besides a carp. But I feel like it was a carp just because the way it bit, it kind of just hammered it. Now you can catch, and I have caught quite a few channel cats on them Wheaties. Usually only channel cats. I haven't caught any flatheads or blue cats on it. And I didn't have very much line out either, and it's so close. That might have been part of the problem, but bluegills will eat your bait off and small channels. But just bite your dough balls off. But anything that eats that corn's got a chance. That corn is what gives you that second chance to hook up. If we miss another one, I may switch the hook out. All right, I'm going to re-hook this other line so we can get it out there with some piece of gizzard on it. Strawberry gizzard. I've been kind of avoiding it because I know it's going to be ripe. Plus, I would much rather, if I can catch the carp the way I want to catch them, just one pole is all you can watch. You can lose a pole anytime you're fishing. So between where we're at and there's a little island to the right here, there's a channel that runs through here, and it's shallow on that left side until it gets right next to the bank, but there's a lot of carp that lay next to that island over there. So I'd like to throw it a little farther, but again, I'm using this bait caster with 20-pound line, no weight. It's not really set up to throw. I like to use no weight when I fish as much as I can. See if I can find my shears here. Oh, there we go, there we go. Line started going out. The best way for them, hopefully you hope they just eat it and then pole just bends over and you got them. That's what you hope for. Could be something else just eating off the bait there. He definitely didn't bite like last time. The best way to get a bite is mess around with a different pole or walk away from your pole. You know, that's that old saying, watch pot never boils, or something like that. Now they may have got the dough ball off, but there's still corn on there if they want it. Now they may not eat it, but sometimes that'll get that extra little bite out of them. Guys, this one's why I'll show you why I'm trying to redo this one here. So I'll show you my setup. This is what we've been catching them on out of Buckeye with the white bass and the catfish. Just a size 6 circle hook, and then a weight that slides freely. But every once in a while, guys, you want to check this area above this. This is starting to get wear and tear from this sinker. This is starting to feel a little frayed up. So what you want to do is you want to go above that, and you want to cut that off and reline that. So, because what will happen is you'll get a nice one, and it'll just snap off on you. And you don't want that to happen. All right, so we probably don't have any bait on it. I don't know, I thought something happened there. I said we probably don't have any bait, but then it looked like something was moving around on it. There are a lot of small channel cats here as well. If you've watched any of my Paint Creek videos, you'll know we catch a lot of small channels here. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put our sinker back on. We're going to tie our loop knot. There we go. We're getting another bite on the green pole there. Again, it doesn't act like it's taking it. But maybe they'll eat that corn this time around. And again, I may want to change that setup if I'm not hooking up, but it's still a little early, so Maybe they're just not being super aggressive. Maybe it's bluegill. There's a lot of things that could be going on. You definitely want to get something on the bank here to break this skunk. Not to pop the top on this stinky gizzards. Whoa. Oh my. We're going to take a piece of that, lay it up here on the rock. And I'll put this back on. We'll throw this away when we leave. If you got a weak stomach, you may not want to use something that's been sitting in the car. Some raw chicken that's been sitting in the car for a few days. Also, now that I'm handling this, you got to watch about, you know, don't put your fingers in your eyes and your mouth and all that stuff. All right, so I just got a little tiny piece of this gizzard on there. All right, running it through the circle hook. Then we're going to check this other pole, throw it back out. We're going to throw this more of an angle down in the channel here. I don't have to worry about that gizzard coming off. Alright, the corn's still there. So what we might do is this time around I might just put the dough ball right over the corn and none on the other part here. I don't think I was getting a bite, but I wasn't helping on kicking my pole around. People don't know, but there's a lot of bass in here. Most people that come here are fishing for sawguy or the catfish. I normally come here for the carp and the catfish. So I've caught a lot of bass here. Don't be afraid to try to catch some bass when you're in the spillway here. All right, we threw that off again, so not having much luck with this staying on today. Corn came off with it. Yeah. I may have to hook up one of the lighter weight poles. May need to loosen up the spool a little bit. going a lot farther with one of the lightweight poles, but we may get that pole wrecked. Could be fun. Could be fun. May have to reline the pole afterwards. Another way of doing it, if you want, is set your weedy ball on a rock or something and spool out some line like this. And then swing this back and forth, and then just flip it, which is about where it was earlier. A little more loose line this time, but that might be better than slinging it off. Yeah, and you only have to be a couple feet out. The carp will come right to the bank. They'll come a little bit, they'll stay out a little farther since I'm sitting here, but you don't have to throw to the other side. But if I could throw over that island, it'd probably be better, honestly, because that's probably where a lot of them are. But you're counting on them weedy scent to bring them in to you. I might go ahead and pause the video and bring you guys back if we get another bite here. Problem is you might miss a good takedown. I'll try to watch for it. All right, looked like something might have been trying to go after the weedy ball here. I have seen a couple big carp cruising through here to my left. I think what we're going to do is go ahead and set up the second pole. I threw around a vibe, nothing on that. Again, kind of middle of the day. We're not getting any action on the gizzards. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch this pole over to a weedy ball as well. And what I may do is throw one of them up here to my left a little more, or I might move both of them up there. Might be the call. I think on this pole will get us We'll do a dough ball and I think we'll do a treble hook instead of a smaller hook, and we'll give that a try. On this setup. I thought the green pole was about to get taken, so it doesn't look like nothing's going on. All right, we're going to do double weedy bowl now. I did leave the weight on that one. I normally don't like to do that, but figured it might help. I'm using a treble hook setup as well. Really should bring a towel, wipe this stuff off. As you can see, it starts drying on your hands. That ends up on your clothes. And it gets slimy. But that's why you wear stuff you don't mind. I'd rather have it on my clothes than on my reels. Sad but true. All right. Hopefully you guys are still lined up there with the rods. Looks like you guys are. The white pole has a weight and a treble hook, and it is getting some action right now. It does have a treble hook on it. The white pole's definitely got something messing with it. Again, ideally it just bends over and you've got the fish hooked. It's a bigger carp, but again, could be a small channel. I may need to move to my left here where it's a little more shallows. cut myself in two different places trying to get my soda out on my knife. It's not what you want to do when your hands are all, when you're handling all kinds of dirty raw chicken and stuff. You don't want to break the skin. Could get infected. I took it out of the sheath earlier to open up that corn, and then I didn't put it back in the sheath. Cut myself on my thumb and here. Get home, we'll throw some rubbing alcohol on it. Every once in a while I see him jump. Out there, the crappie or bass, whatever, eating, chasing something. Twice in the same spot, really? Oh, you're just jacked up at this point. Whoa, I just saw a very big swirl right out in front of my, right out where I'm throwing all that Wheaties. Something very big. Big old, probably big old carp. Not sure what the hell I did to this thing. But we're going to have to retie it. We'll need to check that weight pole. Something looks like it might be messing with the green pole. All right, let's check this one. And I may need to throw one up there where it's a little shallower. I don't know. Maybe we're getting some small catfish noodling. So this is the treble hook. And I did leave the weight on this one. Give it a little extra line. When we drop it in. We'll hang tight on the green a little bit. We'll give the green just about 2 more minutes here. Guys, it's really warm today, almost 90, but I'm not complaining because we've had a lot of cold days here in Ohio. We were still getting frost early. Still way too cold, a lot of 35, 40 degree nights when it shouldn't have been. All right, let's go ahead and rethrow the green one out. It's starting to be so sticky now, it's sticking to my hands. Can't even... All right, there's a snake. First one I saw. Wasn't very big, but I'll still give him his space. I'm going to throw this one over here on the other side. We got that one thrown out over behind us. Not sure where the snake went. I lost sight of him, which is never really what you want to do, but he was in the water and I'm up here, but I just got to watch with the big rocks. I forgot my cart today. I didn't realize I'd forgot it, but apparently when I got all my fishing stuff together the other day, I didn't grab it. And I didn't notice it yesterday because I went with my son. Not yesterday, Sunday. I went with my son, and he helped me, so I didn't even think about the cart. I fished at Deer Creek. With this thing, you can tell if it's tangled up around itself because it's not getting the right action. You can feel it. I don't think I'm in the right spot today for these carp. we got something on the vibe here. Enough to break the skunk. All right, all right, all right. So we'll get him up here, just a little saw guy. Got to be careful with with the hook here. Now they will flail their gills, but you can handle them pretty easy when they're this size. So there we go. It's a little one. It's not what we're looking for, but it's not a skunk, so we'll take it. We'll get him turned loose. We'll throw back out there and try to get a bigger one. Guys, give me a thumbs up. I've been struggling trying to fish here. At least we finally got one, but not a big one, but we got one. Bought this thing out of Buckeye Lake, and I've caught more saugeye here on it than I have out there. This is my second one. I lost my first one, and I bought another one because I did catch quite a few fish. On the first one. We may need to pack up, guys, and go on up closer to the dam. For some carp action. Nothing on this other rod either. That I threw on this other side. It acts like it's about to rain. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and head back up the hill here. I do appreciate you hanging out with me today. I just don't think the carp light is on yet. I drove down here to see if it was, and I still think I might be a little early. I did see some movement today. I got some bites, but normally those weedy balls, you just can't even keep them in the water. So I do appreciate you. Until next time, have fun fishing, guys. I'm out.